Welcome to Daily Speaking English Podcast, your friendly place to learn English in a fun and easy way. My name is Lena, and I'm so happy you're here with us today.
Hello, everyone, and hello, Lena. I'm Ben, and it's wonderful to have all of you joining us for another great episode.
Hey, Ben, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking. How about you, Lena?
I'm great. I'm really excited because today's topic is something everyone can connect with and use in real life.
Before we start talking about today's lesson, I want to ask all of you watching and listening to please subscribe to our channel if you enjoy what we do. Also, hit the like button and share this with people you know who want to learn English better.
Yes, please do that. And don't forget to click the bell icon so you get a notification every time we post something new. That really helps us reach more people and grow our wonderful community.
Absolutely. I'm ready to begin whenever you are, Lena.
Perfect. Let's get started right now, Ben.
So, Lena, today we're going to discuss something really practical. We're talking about jobs and work.
That's right. Jobs are such an important part of life, and knowing how to talk about your work in English is really useful.
Definitely. Whether you're meeting new people, going to an interview, or just having a casual conversation, you'll often need to describe what you do for work.
Exactly. So let's start with the basics, Ben. Imagine someone comes up to you and asks a simple question. They say, "What do you do?" How would you answer?
Good question. The easiest and most common way to answer is by saying your job title. For example, I could say, "I'm a teacher."
Perfect. That's so simple and clear. Or you could also say, "I work as a nurse," or "I work as a driver." Both ways are correct and natural.
Right. So, Lena, using these examples, what's your job?
Well, I'm a podcast host. I love talking to people and helping them learn English. What about you, Ben?
I'm an English teacher, and I also work as a content creator. I really enjoy making videos and lessons for learners like all of you.
That's wonderful. Now, sometimes people want to know more details. They might ask about the company or place where you work.
Yes, you can say something like, "I work for a school," or "I work for a technology company." This gives more information about your workplace.
And what if you don't work for a company? What if you have your own business?
Great question. If you work for yourself, you can say, "I'm self-employed." This means you are your own boss and you manage your own business.
I love that. Being self-employed gives you a lot of freedom. So, Ben, now let's talk about responsibilities. What does that word mean?
Responsibilities are the tasks and duties you need to do in your job. They're the things you're in charge of doing every day or every week.
Right. So, how can we describe our responsibilities in English?
You can say things like, "I help customers every day," or "I manage a team of 5 people." These sentences explain what you actually do at work.
Good examples. So if someone asks me about my responsibilities, I could say, "I prepare English lessons and I record podcast episodes." That describes my main tasks clearly.
Exactly. And there are some really useful phrases you can use to talk about your responsibilities. One important phrase is, "I'm responsible for." For example, "I'm responsible for answering phone calls."
That's helpful. Another useful phrase is, "My main task is." So I could say, "My main task is to make English learning enjoyable for everyone."
Perfect. You're doing an excellent job with that task, Lena.
Thank you, Ben. Here's another phrase you can use. You can say, "A typical day at work looks like," and then describe what you do. This is a natural way to explain your daily routine.
I like that phrase. So I could say, "A typical day at work looks like teaching 4 classes and preparing materials for tomorrow." It's simple and gives a clear picture.
Wonderful. So everyone listening, remember these 3 things. First, tell people your job title. Second, mention the company or place you work for. Third, explain your main responsibilities and tasks.
Great summary. Now, Lena, let's move to the next topic.
Let's talk about daily routines at work. This is what you do from the time you start working until the time you finish work.
Yes, people often want to know what a normal workday looks like for you. So first, you can mention what time you begin and end your workday.
Right. For example, I could say, I start work at 8 in the morning and finish at 4 in the afternoon. Simple and direct.
Perfect. Now, what about all the things that happen during the day, like checking emails, attending meetings, and doing your main work?
Those are all important parts of the day. Many people begin their morning by checking emails. So you might say, every morning I check my emails and reply to important messages.
That's very common. And many jobs also include meetings. You could say, I attend a team meeting every Monday morning, or I have meetings with clients twice a week.
Exactly. Then you can talk about your main tasks during the day. For example, after the morning meeting, I work on my projects until lunchtime.
Good. And what about lunch breaks and breaks during the day? Those are important too.
Definitely. You can say something like, I usually eat lunch with my coworkers at noon, or I take a short coffee break in the afternoon, around 3.
Nice. These details help paint a complete picture of your workday. Let me give you a full example. Every morning, I wake up at 7 and start work at 8:30. First, I check my emails and plan my day. Then, I have a team meeting at 9. After that, I work on my main tasks until lunch at 12:30. In the afternoon, I have more meetings and finish some paperwork. I usually end my workday at 5 in the evening.
That's an excellent example, Lena. It shows the whole day from start to finish. My routine is a bit different. Let me share mine. I begin my day at 7:30 in the morning. First, I prepare my lessons and materials. Then I teach my first class at 9. I teach several classes throughout the day with short breaks between them. At lunch, I eat and rest for about an hour. In the afternoon, I teach more classes and sometimes meet with other teachers to discuss our plans. I usually finish around 4:30.
That sounds like a busy but rewarding day, Ben. So everyone, when describing your routine, think about these things. What time do you start and stop working? What tasks do you do? When do you take breaks? Do you interact with other people during the day?
Those are the key points. Now, let's discuss another important topic, your work environment. This means the place and atmosphere where you work.
Right. The work environment can be very different depending on your job. So, Ben, where do you usually work? In an office? At home? Somewhere else?
That's a great question. These days, many people work in different types of environments. Some people work in an office building. You can say, I work in an office downtown.
And many people now work from home. You can say, I work remotely from home, or simply, I work from home.
Yes, and there's also something called a hybrid job. This means you work some days at home and some days in an office. You could say, I have a hybrid schedule. I work at home on Mondays and Fridays, and I go to the office on other days.
That's becoming very popular. And some people work outside, like construction workers or gardeners. They might say, I work outdoors most of the time.
Exactly. Now, what about the atmosphere at work? Is it formal or informal?
Good point. A formal workplace usually means you need to dress nicely, maybe wear a suit, and follow many rules. You might say, my workplace is quite formal. We wear business clothes and have regular schedules.
And an informal workplace is more relaxed. You might wear comfortable clothes like jeans, and the rules are not as strict. I could say, my workplace is informal. We can wear casual clothes, and the environment is friendly.
I prefer informal workplaces.
They feel more comfortable. What about you, Ben?
Me too. I like being able to dress comfortably. Now, let's talk about the people you work with. How are your relationships with your coworkers?
This is so important. The people you work with can make a big difference in how much you enjoy your job. You might say, "My coworkers are very friendly and helpful. We get along really well."
Or you could say, I work in a small team and we support each other like a family. That shows you have good relationships at work.
Wonderful! Now let's learn some useful vocabulary words related to work environments. Ben, what's the first word?
The first word is open space. This describes a big office room where many people work together at desks. There are no separate rooms or walls between people.
I see. So you might say, "I work in an open space with about 20 other people." What's the next word?
The next word is deadline. This is very important. A deadline is the time when you must finish something. You have to complete your work by that specific date or time.
Right. So I could say, "I have a deadline next Friday. I need to finish my report by then." Deadlines can sometimes feel stressful.
They can. Now, let's look at some words for people at work. Boss is the person who manages you and tells you what to do.
And coworker or colleague means the people who work with you. They're your teammates. You might say, "My coworkers are really nice and we often help each other."
Another word is client. A client is a customer or a company that you provide services for. If you work in sales or consulting, you probably have clients.
Good one. What about team? That's an important word too.
Yes, a team is a group of people who work together toward the same goal. You might say, "I'm part of a marketing team," or "Our team is working on a new project."
Perfect! And the last phrase is flexible hours. This means you can choose when to start and finish your work, within some limits. You have freedom with your schedule.
I love flexible hours. You could say, "My job has flexible hours, so I can start any time between 7 and 9 in the morning."
That's a great benefit. So everyone, remember these words when talking about your work environment. Now, Ben, let's discuss something personal. Job satisfaction. This means how happy you are with your job.
Yes, this is a really important topic. Some people love their jobs, and some people don't enjoy them very much. So, Lena, do you like your job?
I love my job. I really enjoy talking with our listeners and helping people learn English. It makes me happy. So I would say, I love my job because it's creative and I meet interesting people.
That's wonderful to hear. And that's exactly how you express your feelings about your job. You can say, "I like my job because," and then give a reason.
Right. For example, I like my job because the hours are flexible. Or, I like my job because my coworkers are friendly.
Good examples. Now, every job has parts we enjoy and parts we don't enjoy as much. You can talk about both. I could say, what I enjoy most about my job is seeing my students improve their English. It's very rewarding.
That's beautiful, Ben. And what about the parts you enjoy least?
Well, honestly, what I enjoy least is sometimes the paperwork and grading tests. It takes a lot of time and can be tiring.
I understand. For me, I love creating content and recording episodes the most. What I enjoy least is the technical work, like fixing sound problems or editing. It's not my favorite part.
We all have those tasks we don't love, right? That's normal. Now, sometimes people aren't happy with their job and want to change. How can we express that?
Good question. If you want a new job, you can say,
I'm looking for a new opportunity. This is a polite way to say you want to leave your current job and find something better.
Yes. Or you might say, I want to find a job with better pay. Or I want a job that's closer to my home. These explain why you want to change.
Exactly. Here is a useful expression to remember. It can be stressful sometimes, but, and then you say something positive. For example, my job can be stressful sometimes, but I love the team I work with.
That's a great phrase. It shows balance. You acknowledge the difficult parts, but also mention the good parts. Like, my job can be stressful sometimes, but the salary is good and I'm learning a lot.
Perfect. So, when talking about job satisfaction, think about these questions. Do you like your job? Why or why not? What parts do you enjoy the most? What parts do you enjoy the least? Do you want to change jobs?
Great questions. Now, Lena, let's talk about the past. Let's discuss previous jobs and work experience. This is important when you're applying for a new job or meeting new people.
Yes, people often ask about your work history. So, how can we talk about jobs we had before?
You can use the phrase, I used to work. For example, I used to work at a bank, but now I work at a school. This shows that you did something in the past, but not anymore.
Good. Or you could say, before this job, I was a sales assistant at a store. Or my previous job was in customer service.
Exactly. And it's also helpful to talk about what you learned in those previous positions. This shows the skills and experience you gained.
Right. You might say, in my last job, I learned how to manage social media accounts. Or I learned a lot about working with customers and solving their problems.
Perfect examples. These skills are valuable, and they help explain your career path. Your career path is like the story of all the jobs you've had.
I like that description. So if someone asks about my experience, I could say something like, I used to work as a waitress in a restaurant. There, I learned how to communicate with many different people and work under pressure. Then I became a teacher, and now I'm a podcast host.
That's excellent, Lena. You've shown your career progression and what you learned at each step. For me, I could say, I used to be a student, and I worked part-time at a bookstore. I learned about customer service and how to organize inventory. After graduating, I became an English teacher, and I've been teaching for 5 years now.
Wonderful! So everyone, remember to mention your previous jobs, what you learned from them, and how they helped you grow professionally.
Great advice. Now, let's look forward to the future. This is exciting. Let's talk about career goals and dreams for the future.
I love this topic. Everyone has dreams about where they want to be in the future. So Ben, where do you see yourself in the next few years?
That's a big question. I can say, in the future, I'd like to open my own language school. That's one of my dreams.
That's a fantastic goal, and that's a perfect way to express it. You can say, in the future, I'd like to, and then describe your goal.
Yes, or you can say, I want to become something. For example, I want to become a manager, or I want to become an expert in my field.
Great examples. And what about skills? What new skills do you want to learn or improve?
Good question. You can say, I want to improve my leadership skills, or I want to learn more about technology and computers. This shows you're always interested in growing and learning.
I love that mindset. I could say, I want to improve my video editing skills, or I want to learn how to speak another language, like Spanish.
Those are great goals. And now, the most fun question. What's your dream job, Lena? If you could do anything, what would it be?
Oh, my dream job is to
travel around the world and create videos about different cultures while teaching English to people everywhere. That would be amazing.
That sounds like an incredible adventure. My dream job is to write books about language learning and inspire students all over the world.
I love that. So everyone listening, think about your own dreams. Where do you want to be in 5 years? What skills do you want to develop? What's your ultimate dream job?
These are powerful questions to think about. Now, Lena, we've talked so much about describing our own jobs. But what about asking other people about their jobs? This is really useful for conversations.
Absolutely. When you meet someone new, asking about their job is a common and friendly way to start a conversation. So, what's the most basic question you can ask?
The simplest and most common question is just, what do you do? This is asking about their job.
Perfect. And after they answer, what else can you ask to keep the conversation going?
You can ask, do you like your job? Or do you enjoy what you do? This shows you're interested in their feelings about their work.
Good. What if you want to know how long they've been working there?
You can ask, how long have you worked there? Or how long have you been in this job? They might answer, I've worked there for 3 years. Or I've been doing this for 6 months.
Excellent. Now, if you want to make the conversation more interesting and detailed, what questions can you ask?
You can say, what's the most interesting part of your job? Or what do you enjoy most about your work? These questions invite them to share more details.
I like those. And you can also ask about their daily routine, right?
Yes, you can say, what does a typical day look like for you? Or what do you usually do during the day? This helps you understand what their work is really like.
Perfect. So let me practice. Imagine I just met you at a party, Ben. I would say, hi, what do you do?
I would answer, I'm an English teacher. I teach students online and create educational content.
Nice. Then I would ask, oh, that's interesting. Do you enjoy teaching?
Yes, I love it. It's very rewarding when I see students improve.
That's wonderful. How long have you been teaching?
I've been teaching for about 5 years now.
What's the most interesting part of your job?
I think the most interesting part is meeting students from all around the world and learning about their cultures.
See how natural that conversation flows? These questions help you learn about someone and build a connection.
Exactly. And they're simple questions that anyone can use. So everyone listening, practice these questions. You'll use them a lot in real life.
Absolutely. All right, Ben, we've covered so much information today. Let's do a quick review of everything we learned.
Great idea. Let's summarize the main points. First, we learned how to describe your job title and the company you work for.
Right. You can say, I'm a teacher, or I work as a nurse, or I work for a technology company.
Then we learned how to talk about your responsibilities at work. You can use phrases like, I'm responsible for, or my main task is.
Good. Next, we discussed how to describe your daily routine at work. You talk about what time you start and finish, what tasks you do, and when you take breaks.
We also learned about work environments. You can work in an office, remotely from home, in a hybrid setting, or outdoors. And you can describe if your workplace is formal or informal.
Then we learned important vocabulary like deadline, boss, coworker, client, team, open space, and flexible hours.
Right. We talked about work satisfaction, how to express if you like your job, what you enjoy most and least, and how to talk about wanting a new job.
We also covered how to discuss previous jobs and work experience using phrases like, I used to work and I learned.
And we looked at future career goals. You can say, in the future, I'd like to, or I want to become to talk about your dreams and goals.
Finally, we practiced questions you can ask other people about their jobs, like, what do you do? And do you like your job?
That's a lot of useful information. All of these phrases and questions will help you have confident conversations about work in English.
Exactly. And the best way to remember all of this is to practice. Try describing your own job using the phrases we learned today.
Yes, even if you don't have a job right now, you can practice by describing a job you want in the future or by talking about your studies.
Great point. And try asking your friends or family members about their jobs using the questions we practiced.
Perfect. Practice makes everything easier and more natural. The more you use these phrases, the more comfortable you'll become.
Absolutely. Well, I think we've reached the end of our episode today. This was such a helpful lesson.
It really was. Thank you for this wonderful conversation, Lena.
Thank you too, Ben. And a huge thank you to everyone listening to Daily Speaking English podcast today. We hope you found this episode valuable and useful.
Before you go, please remember to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that yet. Click that subscribe button so you don't miss our future episodes.
Yes, please. And share this episode with anyone you know who's learning English. Your friends, classmates, family members, or anyone who wants to improve their speaking skills.
And here's a question for all of you. Please leave a comment below and tell us about your job. What do you do? Do you like it? What's your dream job?
We love reading your comments and getting to know all of you better. Your stories and experiences are so interesting to us.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. We really appreciate every single one of you.
Yes, thank you. We'll see you in the next episode with more great English lessons.
Take care, everyone, and keep practicing.
Remember, the key to improving your English is repetition and practice. Listen to this episode multiple times. The first time, just listen and enjoy. The second time, try to repeat some phrases after us. The third time, write down some sentences that you want to remember. Each time you listen, you'll notice something new and understand more deeply. Then, use what you learned in real conversations. Tell someone about your job. Ask a friend about their work. Make it part of your daily life. That's how you'll truly improve and feel more confident speaking English. You're doing amazing, and we're so proud of your progress. Keep going.
And don't forget to write in the comments. We read every comment, and we love hearing from you. Tell us what you learned today or share your own work experiences. We'll see you next time.